We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hello. How's everybody doing out there? Coming at you with a YDBT Daily. Today we're going to talk about the S550.5, aka the S650, which, you know, it's funny. So 05 to 10 was an S197, and then 11 to 14 looked different, right? 05 to 10 looks different. Sorry, 05. Let's say Mustang GT. 05 to 09 has the classic retro style. 10, it changed to the 10, 11, 12 nose and tail lights. They didn't call that an S297. It's just an S197. And then 13 to 14, they changed the headlights and tail lights and a couple other little things like the hood vents and stuff like that. And they still did not change the generation of Mustang. 05 to 2014 is S197 Mustang, right? Is there any different nomenclature for 05 to 14, right? No, S197. So Ford comes out with this car and calls it the S650. Meanwhile, it has literally S550 bones with slightly different body parts. And yes, a new engine, just like S197, but they call it the S650 and they call it the 7th generation Mustang. And that's where my problems begin with this vehicle. We're going to talk about the industry ball washing. Oh my God, guys. The industry ball washing by people that receive paychecks from Ford to write favorable articles was downright pathetic. But we'll talk about it. Let me get my 10 to 15 minutes as always. I'm going to say hi to the people and shout out the sponsors as always. I always want to thank my people, the people that make it all possible, the sponsors of the show. That's right. We got 2 Auto Solution. By the way, 2 Auto Solution has a nice little documentary of how he got started on the 2 Auto Solution channel on YouTube. Go subscribe there. We also got Caliber Transmission, who is R&D'ing the 3160 with this new Mach 1. Don't make our cookies. And the Parts Farm. Thank you guys very much for being a huge part of this show. I could not do half of the stuff that I can do without your support, your monthly support, your giveaways, your parts, because Parts Farm sends parts. Oh My God gives away cookies. Ben Calimer provides transmissions. 2 Auto provides money, support, and just general, positive support for the channel. And I really appreciate that about him. Let's say hi to the people. I'll talk about what I need to talk about for 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll be on for as long as we want to be on. I usually do an hour for YDBT dailies because I don't want to do too much, but today we can do a little bit more, but I'm not looking to go crazy. D-Rock Fox in the house, Fresh Pasteles and Fresh Pastelazos. Also, Homestead John's. All the turnovers, the pastries, everyone is here. Cluster BM, Jeremiah Camp finally got the car running good. Glad to see him back on the road and happy. Mac Attack, Perico Loco, damn. Nitrous and Biosplies, Monty Rogers, Ron Lowenberg, TJ Sikorsky, 508 Josh, Nitrous and Biosplies again. John Basker, It's My Lifestyle, Alex Gutierrez. Johnny Boy, Second Shift Racing, Mike J, Robert Rocha, Chris Romero, Victor Garza, Reaper Rican, Trucker, Crespo, Recky's 8, Rape 8, Patrick, Nick G, Ignacio, Lemoyne, Bondo Bird blew up his motor, but he's back on it. Hopefully he's going to get back up and running quickly. Ian Martha, you got to change your thing for your Corvette. You still have the orange thing there. Stamza Sam and One Slow Boy, Anthony Highrise and Nick Platt, Jason 5.0 inches. Okay. Nick G, Toxic 03, Screaming 03. It's Just a Dick, Johnny Boy, Anthony Leonard, Robert Rocha, John Jones, Brian E, Gavin, Jamir, Patrick, Salim, Victor, and Chapa, CMD, Turuviate in the house. As always, we like Turuviate in the house. That's right. He's back. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about S650 Mustang. So everyone has seen the photos. Everyone has seen the dual cold air intakes. You're welcome for telling you about that about a year ago. You're welcome. For any guy that thinks he has some kind of exclusive on this, Just go back to my show a couple, like 8 to 9 months ago, and I'll show you the email where I got that sucker, that picture sent to me over a year ago. I got some good people in high places, and they're willing to provide me some information. So it was a good time. So when I saw the S650, the first thing I said, guys, is it looks like a Camaro. Now, is that a dig at the car? No. The 1LE, the latest gen Camaro, is a good looking car. I don't like the culture around it. I don't like the engine generally, unless you're going to mod the shit out of it. I generally don't really like Camaros. But I'd be really stupid to sit here and tell you with a straight face that I thought that car was ugly. Ian Martha's car was a very good looking car. I like the Dodge Charger also. I think the Dodge Charger SRT, Hellcat, Red Eye, whatever the fuck, wide body is a beautiful car. So to say that the Mustang looks like one of those is not a dig at the car. It's a dig at the similarities between the three. Now, the reason everyone loves the Challenger, the Challenger. Why does everybody love the Challenger? It looks distinct. It has a distinct retro look that they kept, and the combination just worked. And if you were in the market and could afford a Hellcat, you would have bought it. Because it's a good looking car. Don't say it's not. A wide body Red Eye is still on my top, must-haves before ICE totally goes away. But anyway, back on this Mustang. So a lot of the people's positive praise of this Mustang was, oh, finally, Ford didn't give up on the V8. Ford, cool. Okay, so are we championing them basically making a lateral move? The GT makes, 10 more horse than the current GT? Okay, sorry, 18 to 20, because let's be honest, 18 to 20, in my opinion, was the glory years of Coyote. After that, it kind of slowed down. So the S650 has a little bit more horsepower. Let's say the GT, the GT package, has a little bit more horsepower, not a lot more horsepower. And they have the Eco, the GT, and then this thing called the Darkhorse. I don't know what the fuck focus group you guys were in. There used to be a whole airplane theme about Mustang, and then they went back to pony shit. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So the Darkhorse has up to, because I like how they go up to, 500 horsepower. Crank. So you guys go, wait a minute, that sounds badass. That's a tuned E85 long tube header Coyote, Gen 3. Tuned E85 cold air. So say cold air, a single throttle body, a cold air, headers in E85. That is your 500 horsepower Coyote. There it is. Because those cars make about 460 to maybe 465, 470 rear wheel horsepower in a manual situation. Whereas auto, you might see a little less power, but they roll the fuck out. So then I started thinking, wait a minute. It doesn't even make more horsepower than the GT350. Like in 2020, let's go way back to 2020. And let's think of the models that they had in 2020. Okay, do it with me. An EcoBoost, a GT, and then you had 3 trim levels for the GT. You had the GT base, you had the PP1, then you had the PP2. Heyo. The Performance Package 1, Performance Package 2, in my opinion, Performance Package 2 wheels are absolutely gorgeous. It had MagnaRide. It had the variable exhaust. That went very good. So you had EcoBoost and about 3 versions of the GT. In 2020, which was the last year of GT350, that was available. So the GT350, I think, had over 520 horsepower. Let's look up horsepower. Horsepower. There you go. So the 2020 GT3, oh, look at that. The 2020 GT350 had 526 horsepower, 26 more than the Darkhorse is supposed to have. Then we also got introduced the GT500. We went, oh my God, what a time to be alive. So I'm expecting better than that. Now, that's not to say that Ford won't later announce Guarantee the GT500 will come back. Guarantee the Boss, based on the way they're doing things, I guarantee a Boss variant will come out. And I guarantee some other mid whatever the fuck will come out. Okay, so from a tuner's perspective, what we saw the other day, Wednesday, didn't blow me away. I went a reskinned S550 with a digital dash with Sync 3. How many of you like the smooth operation of Sync 3? How many of you guys out there actually look at the smooth operation of Sync 3 and go, I want this on my whole dash? Nobody. Sync 3 is laggy. It works when it wants to. Your Bluetooth audio works sometimes, depending if you have an Apple, if you have a Android. It works, sometimes. So it is not a smooth, nice operating system. This car was developed during COVID. And that should say a lot about this car. This car was reskinned, little tuck in the back, bigger nose. They gave you the Mach E. Someone said I thought it was Sync 4. Okay, let's see. Let's say any sync 2, 3, or 4, if it is a 4. How many of the sync systems are smooth? How many of the sync systems, right, Sync 3.5, right? So how many of the sync systems are smooth? You have this big badass dash, and you are used to this guy, where you touch and you swipe really quickly. Everyone says it's Sync 4. I stand corrected. It is Sync 4, let's say. I don't care. I literally don't buy a car for the sync system. But let's say you do, because that's where you're going to buy this car. When you swipe on your phone, it is laggy. It is insanely laggy, right? On a sync system. On a phone, it's so fast. So you're expecting this kind of touchscreen display on a $60,000 to $70,000 vehicle. Okay, so let's talk about the tuning, right? So you're telling me, you're looking at me in my eyeballs, Ford, and you're telling me a dual throttle body, dual cold air intake, Darkhorse makes 26 less horsepower than a GT350 with a 5.2, one whole throttle body, and one whole cold air. So I started thinking, wait a minute. Why are there two cold airs? And why are there two throttle bodies? If the GT makes 480 horsepower, you're telling me two cold airs, two throttle bodies, better cams, better rods and pistons, only make 20 more horsepower than the GT? So why should I buy this Darkhorse? Well, it's the badge thing. It's a paint thing. It's a trim thing. It's a Mach 1. So for those of you out there that think the Mach 1 performs better than a GT, I got something coming to you, because it's the same as the Darkhorse to the GT, where the Mach 1 has GT350 intake manifold, GT350 throttle body, GT350 cold air intake, and it makes less horsepower than the GT350, but it makes more than the GT, so it's a trim upgrade. So as a tuner, we start going, someone says it's for emissions. So as a tuner, I start going, why would Ford give you two throttle bodies, two cold air intakes? And will that make it, oh, by the way, they have revised exhaust manifolds. So you're telling me a shorty header, two throttle bodies, two cold air intakes equals barely 20 horsepower? Okay, fine. Let's say that's cool. So as a tuner, we look at this and we go, people like Lund Racing go, wait, how quickly can I get to tune this thing? And why are there two cold airs when we've seen GT350s with one cold air, one throttle body make more horsepower than this? It could be emissions related. I get it. I understand it could be emissions related. So a lot of you guys that buy it or saw it and you reacted like, I can't wait to put twin turbos on that thing. Show me the twin turbo 21 F-150s that are out there. Alex, this is not a truck. It doesn't matter. Tell me why there are no fast, like legitimately fast 2021 F-150s out there. 10s is not fast anymore, okay? A stock truck with a Whipple calibration with Whipple 38s might run 10s on a cold day. So you're going to go get excited over a vehicle that I probably can't tune for 2 years. So the Mustang, let's say, comes out in 2024. Are you willing to wait till 2026? You're going to be the first one in line to buy either a GT or a Darkhorse. And are you willing to wait 2 years? Or are you going to say, no, I'll just pick up a Whipple right away? You know, those badass, fast factory Whipple calibrations on Mustangs. Those blazing fast, stock Whipple with a warranty calibrations on vehicles. The 21 F-150 came out in late 2020. So technically, 2 years, you haven't been able to do badass stuff to it. So I started thinking, why two cold airs? Well, let's be honest here. Let's say the moment you do anything to that car, it does like diesels do. It doesn't run. Why have two cold airs with supposedly carbon traps inside of the cold air? I wish I could show you the photos, but I can't. This honeycomb style carbon trap. And let's just say you get the bright idea of going, okay, let me take these carbon traps out because more flow equals more power, right? If I take these out, it's just going to make more power. Hell, I am going to invent two cold air intakes, same diameter, put the MAF sensor, no tune required. Let's see how it goes. And the car goes, too much flow. Hey, too much. MAF sensor picks up too much flow. It's like catalytic converters. When you don't have them, it throws a P0420, P0430 code. Catalytic system inefficiency beyond threshold. So what's going to happen if you have basically a catalytic converter, aka a carbon trap, right in the cold air, and when you remove it because you think more flow, more power, the car goes, I'm not running. Because that is the current issue with Ford right now, where you can take a up to 2022 Mustang, put headers on it on a stock tune, put headers on it, a no tune required cold air intake, and gain power, and the car will throw check engine lights, but the car will run fine down the road and make more power on the factory tune. So maybe I'm just speculating here, because not like I've been right about everything in the last fucking couple of years. Imagine if now they make it tamper proof, and the same computer is now so locked down that the fact that you have to jump through all these hoops makes the EPA's case solid. Because let's say Ford says, hey, EPA, we made this shit super locked down. So they had to have turned off something in the computer, like they needed special software, they needed to reflash the computer, they needed to tamper the ever-living shit out of this car to tune it. So anytime a Darkhorse or a GT 2024 and up is tuned, boom, you're popped for tampering. Gen 2 Mustang was open. Draw the file. Gen 3 Mustang was open. Draw the file. All of a sudden, Gen 3.5, 21 to 22, not so easy. So do you think it'll be easier to crack the Gen 4 Coyote, aka the S650? Or do you think that they are now making it almost tamper-proof, so that the moment that you tune it or try to tune it, making the case that you are tampering with emissions is ironclad and over-the-air updates? If you're one of those guys that likes to just a bone stock Mustang because you like the way the Mustang looks, a nice set of wheels, a drop kit, bro, this is your shit. This is your shit. I go, this is a nice looking car. It's got modern headlights. It's got a cool sync system. Awesome. Excellent. If you want to tune it, if you want to throw twin turbos, a lot of people go, well, I can't wait to go twin turbo in the individual throttle body. Oh, I got a surprise for you, buddy. That might not ever happen without you getting popped. Again, the EPA is getting more brazen. You have seen the stories. You have seen what's happening. And do you think it is going to become easier to tune these cars? So everyone was out there, the ball washers. Oh my Lord, guys. The ball washers were borderline embarrassing. Borderline embarrassing. If you receive a paycheck from Ford to write articles for them and you get invites and they basically pay you in airfare, hotels, invite you to be at the place, I probably can't take your opinion seriously. I can't take your whatever take you have on the new Mustang. I probably can't take it serious because you're getting paid by Ford. So whatever you say on your Facebook page, on your social media, I'm going to go, you get paid by Ford. So I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to someone that more than likely has a neutral position. I love Mustangs, but I quit new Ford Mustang because of what Ford was doing. And I have a sneaking suspicion this car will be insanely untunable for a very long time. I could be 100% wrong. And if you plug it in and you can draw the file, awesome. Then we can go to the EPA. Hey, fuck you. Ford left it open. Don't look at me. Look at them. That's why I think this car is not going to be able to be tuned for a very long time. Now, before you guys start asking, why can't I put 2 throttle bodies and 2 cold airs in a older car? How the fuck are we going to split the MAF signal? How the fuck are we going to control each throttle body individually? It's not in the tune. So if and when the S650 becomes tunable, I'm sure they're going to have ETC1, ETC2, IAT1, bank 1, bank 2, and maybe no IMRC control, and they control idle with the throttle bodies, no different than a carburetor, guys. If you look at a 4-barrel carburetor, it's got primaries and secondaries. So I have a sneaky suspicion this car is going to open one throttle body sooner than the other one, and at Watt, they'll both be wide open. But in terms of part throttle stuff and drivability and idle quality, it'll be a individual control until Watt, and that'll be that. So thank you for listening for about 20 minutes, because everyone thinks that we hate this car. I don't hate this car. Nobody says hate this car. We don't want this car to be a dud. We are afraid that this car might become a dud because it's untunable. It might smash sales records. And hey, good for Ford. But tuners, unless you're kissing the ring, unless you're Whipple, Roush, or other people that kiss the ring and have access through Ford, they'll get access, but they have to be beholden to the certain laws. So don't be surprised if you don't see Billy Badass Superfast S550.5, aka S650, at the track. Tell me your thoughts about it. Am I way off the wrong path here? Because I only come from a tuning perspective, not a ball washing paid by Ford to write articles perspective. Okay, here we go. I think you're just jealous that he's getting Ford money. He's getting good money because he's eating good, obviously. But Alex, place the MAF in the middle. You put a drop-in filter in your car, then 2 hours later, you get a no-knock raid on AR-15s pointing at your 4-year-old asking, where are the parts? Who cracks the Ford computers? Are these guys in the tuning industry, or are they actually software, hardware engineers? They're in the tuning industry. I'm not going to say who does it, but obviously the retail, commercially available companies that offer tuning are the ones that crack the computers. Alex, you're just hating because you can't afford it. We've already dispelled that myth, guys. I can go out and buy a Lambo right fucking now. It's all about being able to afford the payment, the down payment, and the monthly payment. So stop it with the pocket watching. The money's okay. I think I'm trading my 20 GT. My trans has neutral dropped on drive twice. Right. So that's the other thing. They said that the 3160 might be in the Darkhorse, aka GT350. And the MT82 is going to be in the Mustang. How is that any different than GT350 and GT from prior generations? How is that any different? The 3160, according to Ben Calamer himself, is weaker than the MT82. The MT82 needs help on the forks. The 3160 has like hollow shafts and weak gears. So people go, oh my God, Tremec. Stop saying Tremec, guys. The 3160 is not stronger overall than the MT82, according to Ben Calamer. I didn't see any MAFs on the dual intakes. Is it speed density? Supposedly there is a MAF, but there's 2 possibilities that the MAF sensor is not necessarily reading frequency, like it does on Gen 1, 2, and 3. Let's say it's reading flow for throttle body activities, because there is a direct correlation between the airflow the MAF sees and what the throttle does. So let's say both sides has MAF, and that dictates airflow to the throttle bodies. That's why I was super sketched out. I'm looking at the throttle bodies, I'm looking at the cold airs, and I go, wait a minute, why didn't they go speed density? Wait a minute. Guys, let's do some critical thinking here. Let's do some critical thinking, okay? Why didn't they go speed density? Why do they have to have individual sensors in the cold air intakes in order to have the car run properly? In my opinion, it's going to have a carbon trap or some kind of sleeve right at the cold air, because 2 throttle bodies, 2 cold airs, better cams only makes 20 more horsepower above the GT. I think it has more to do with monitoring airflow. And if you guys decide to take that sleeve out and the car starts to give you lean codes and wig out and it reports it, listen, guys, it has over-the-air updates. It will report back to home base. If you grab a Darkhorse and you say, let me open this up, take these sleeves out, boom, take it for a ride, boom, check engine light, boom, over-the-air update, updated to Ford sync system, wherever their database is, and you go to get serviced and they go, you got a lean code? Yup. What'd you do? I took out those stupid carbon traps on the cold air. Warranty void, tampering. Because speed density would have solved that issue. The map in the intake would have solved that issue of fueling. But why does it have 2 sensors? Could be MAP, who knows? Sensors right on the cold air intake. Staying mode after modding first ever S650. I blew up my brand new S650. So you can't tamper with the carbon traps. Do you think one throttle body? Do you think one throttle? Whatever. It looked like they showed a second split of a CJ when they showed the Darkhorse. You put 2 cold air intakes and wide open path in the front fascia, highway driving. A rock goes in that air path, I'll wait. Gas engines will soon be just as choked as diesels soon. And that's my thing. I think Ford got the message with the diesel community, because everything that the EPA is enforcing is diesel. And once they've gutted that aftermarket, who do you think they're going to go after? They're going to go after gas, because gas is the enemy, according to the EPA. Oh, gas is the enemy. We can't let these guys tamper with cars that they own. If you want to go fast now, 18 to 20. When the 2024 Mustang comes out, if you want to go fast now, 18 to 20. In 2025, if you want to go fast now, 18 to 20 or Gen 2. Older cars. If you don't have access to everything in the calibration, and you have people that are willing to tune it, facing potential tampering EPA Clean Air Act laws, you know what's going to have to happen for tuners to feel comfortable tuning brand spanking new vehicles? Like, I saw a couple of people promote, I can't wait till the aftermarket gets a hold of this. And I'm like, you mean lights, wheels, drop kit? Because when it comes to the calibration, don't hold your breath. 2021 F-150 should have taught you a lesson as to where they're going with this. All that and still no talks on exhaust for performance versions. You just have to put steel mesh over the radiator, intake openings, keep rocks and leaves out. Oh my God, here we go. Will you revise la trompeta, release la trompeta y el trombone? Right. Imagine any guys are going to have a trumpet and a trombone next to each other. Oh, you know, I want to have bank 1. Bank 1 has to see the more airflow, so that'll get a PMAS. Bank 2 is going to have a JLT. Oh! Dueling math curves. Oh, my God. Oh, and the questions are already coming in. Hey, do you think when the car comes out, and let's say you put a Whipple on it, because you're going to remove, that's the other thing, the logic in the car is going to be looking for 2 throttle bodies. So what's Whipple going to do? Probably make a custom harness, or they have access to the badass shit. Look, Whipple literally has access to Ford's software, like A2Ls and Vision, all that badass software that allows them to manipulate the data to something favorable, because, you know, they have access. So you're telling me when those intakes start hitting the aftermarket, or start hitting, because Ford Racing is probably going to release it. You think you're gonna start throwing dual intake, dual cold air, dual throttle body situations on Gen 3 and down? Oh my lord, oh my lord. When a GT350 makes more power than a Darkhorse with one throttle body and one cold air, I think it's more for tampering, not for power. In a different administration, do you think the rules and enforcement will change, or is the damage already done? 2024 Mustang was being planned back in 2020, 2019. They do things way ahead of time. So let's say tomorrow a complete turnover of administration happens, full conservative, crazy shit. They give away guns everywhere. I mean, we're fucking black smoking it up, yee, rolling coal, all that stuff. I don't think you'll see the effects for 5 years down the road. No worries, I'm sure we'll get a Ford approved performance soon to give you an extra 15 horsepower. 10R80 with YSI horsepower limits, 800 like every other 10R80 stock. Aftermarket, it can make 1100, 1200, no problem for about a season. I want some Yard House, says Fezdlix. The Mustang has no racing series anymore. There is no race Sunday, sell Monday. Now, the other thing that people got excited about was, oh my God, the Darkhorse S, the Darkhorse R. You mean the CGI cars? You mean you're excited for cars that are non-road legal CGI cars in that thing? Look, I am a Ford fan, but I gave up on the new stuff after I saw what was happening. There are people out there making fun of people like me that are even slightly critical of this Mustang. The ball washer crowd. You know, the guys that look at a Maverick and go, I like it. That looks pretty good. Look at the Bronco. I like it. That looks pretty good. Have you ever criticized Ford at anything? Or do you just want to kiss the ring long enough to have access? You look stupid every single time you say everything is awesome that Ford makes. And someone who's a fan can be critical. Imagine you're a Yankee fan and they suck it up and you're like, it's okay. They're going to go after it because I'm a real fan. No, you're paying money. Boo, you fucking suck, Stanton. Fuck you, bitch. What the fuck we paying you for, motherfucker? You're still a fan, but you can criticize the team. It is not up to me to cheer the team no matter what they do. That bullshit ended a long time ago. I am a Red Sox fan, so I suffered all the way to 2004. So I was like, fuck this guy, but I was still a fan. So you can still be a Mustang fan and be critical. But there are people out there that are legit. Oh my God, everything is awesome. I'm going to get one. Motherfucker, it's going to be $60,000 to $70,000. You ain't getting shit, broke boy. Stop it. I already shouted out the sponsors, Omar. Get with the fucking program. Math AP in conjunction with outdrivability Camaro/Vet LT4 to do the same. Who actually drifts Mustangs? All my friends I know who drift clap JDM cars. Thank you. Darkhorse Daves. Kling. Who the fucking hell wanted a drift stick? What bitch ass hoe ever said, you know what would be good in this Mustang? An electronic rear brake so we can drift. Guys, they drift without that shit right into motherfuckers. They drift right into motherfuckers, bro. So Ford goes, you know what? Why are you appeasing the drifting community, bro? Why the drifting community out of all things? Junior put up guys, did you know this? Junior did something that I think you guys will enjoy. When Gen 1 was out, we loved it. Gen 1, man, we were just like, boy, this bitch is bad. And after they came out with the 2.3 Whipple, the 2.9 Whipple, and then Pro Charger came out with their shit. CPR had like 1,000 horse Gen 1 for a little bit, but I don't know if that blew up or what. But everyone was like, oh my God, this thing is badass. Holy shit, this thing is badass. So when Gen 2 was introduced, how do you think Ford introduced, or Ford Performance, obviously it's Ford, how do you think they introduced the Gen 2, guys? How do you think? Well, check this out. Ford introduced the Gen 2 Mustang by making it an EcoBoost go 12s, by making a GT go 11s, and by making a supercharged GT go 10s called the X99 Challenge. This is how we in the tuning industry were introduced to Gen 2 Mustang.
In the world of Mustang performance, whenever there's a major change, be it a new platform or a new engine, there's always someone who wants to be the first. And what we've decided to do is go after the first to make a supercharged V8 2015 go in the 10s, the first to have a naturally aspirated Mustang GT 2015 go in the 11s, and the first to have the new 2.3 liter turbo engine go in the 12s.
So you get the drift. That's how we in the tuning industry were introduced to these cars. Wait a minute. 10 seconds? 11s with the stock GT? And 12s with an EcoBoost? We were like, shit, yeah, excitement. You get the goosebumps. You're badass, right? Drift stick! Drift stick is how we were introduced to the S650. I love you guys. If you love the car, awesome. It's a good looking car. It looks like a Challenger and a Camaro, which both are good looking cars. It is not a dig at the Mustang to say that it looks like the other cars. They have to be sort of neutral in looks. But we got introduced to badassery right away. Like badassery right away. And now we got introduced to the new Mustang with a drift stick and less horsepower than the GT350 for the top tier model. Now, Ford is going to do the right thing. They're going to introduce a Boss, I'm sure, and a GT500, I'm sure. And we'll see if those are tunable. But the word is the Raptor R is not going to be super tunable because it's probably going to share similar ECUs than the 21 F-150. Money, take that, Elon Musk. Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much.
Take that, Elon Musk.
Right, they didn't have a drift chode. The YouTube chick that stuck a wrench in her Toto wants her drift stick, electronic drift brake, rev key. Oh my God. We got drift stick and rev key fob. Think about that. Think about, guys, I heard this shit was coming. That's why I bought the ZR1. One, it's a dream car for me. King Daddy stick shift car. Two, I don't trust that Ford is going to make stuff that I want to buy because I am a tuner and I want to modify stuff. The GT350R release was nuts. Do we have that on video? 350R release. Ford unveiled auto adrenaline. Does it was it? Oh, here you go. Ford Performance. 804,000 people saw this. So this was the GT350R reveal, right? Oh my. Race red? Actual footage of a vehicle? Wow. Wow. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Guys, you didn't get goosebumps right there? Like seriously, you might call me a homo. You didn't get goosebumps watching that? If you saw that thing and you saw 8,000 RPMs on the dash, you didn't get goosebumps from that guy heel toeing, the way it sounded, the way it was moving, the way it looked? Remember the Goodwood Festival of Speed when the GT350 looked phenomenal? Drifting. Drifting is the fastest growing motorsport. Yeah, with 240s. Nissan 240s are the king, or Fox bodies, because nobody is going to drift a $70,000 S550.5. Sorry. Yeah, the 5.2 makes me come every time. That was upper echelon compared to the Stampede. Right. So when you guys see that the new guys that are into Mustang are recent fans, most of the people that are into Mustang mode wasn't a Mustang fan. He had an EcoBoost. That immediately writes him off as being a fucking legit guy. You owned an EcoBoost. Sorry. So you're literally cut off from being like a legit motherfucker. And then I saw that the racing videos and the GT350R videos, and then I go, wow, let me see what this Stang Pete has going on. And people were high-fiving, revving on a key fob, drift stick, 500 horsepower cars. And then people say, but Alex, aren't you happy they still are making ICE vehicles? Well, why do you have to be bland about it? Why do you have to have a bland release of ICE vehicle? Why not have super badass stuff? And if it's the last hurrah, I get it. The boss is coming. The GT500 is coming. But if I can't tune it, I don't care. If I can't tune it, forget me, if nobody can tune it right away, the aftermarket is not going to support it. Sorry. 70,000, you could buy a 2019 GT350. Guys, that's another car that I'd love to have in my stable. A 19 or 20 GT350 with a supercharger and a T56. Bro, the new Mustang ECU will be locked down tighter than a snare drum, maybe piggyback tuning. That's where Fat House comes in. I understand why Fat House would be excited for this car, because their clientele are big money guys. So Motec might go, yeah, we can make something to piggyback in that sucker, and it's off-road use, which I don't understand because it's a 2024. I don't know how the EPA doesn't go, Bo, what's going on there? Whatever. They say, hey, 1000R package coming up. I believe it. And will they be successful? Absolutely. I think he'll be successful. They'll do well. They'll sell a lot of them. This is perfect for those kind of people that make a specialty vehicle with an aftermarket operating system. Absolutely. General Mustang value about the climb. I don't know. I don't think about the active exhaust standard option would have made more customers happy. How's Junior's Motec skills coming along? He's excellent. Junior's very good. He's done a lot of work. But let's be honest. How many of you guys are going to buy Motec from us? Most of the guys that want Motec want it in their 1,400 horsepower GT350. And that's a $200,000+ car. Nobody on this chat has $200,000. And if you do, you probably have a Porsche in your garage, right? Right? Like if I had $200,000, do you think I'd be fucking with Fox Body? I mean, yeah, I would be fucking with Fox Body. You can now drift into the side of a gas pump before you sit on the hood of on the gram with the caption say "Stay blessed." Really wish that Ford kept a hybrid 5.0 option. Exactly. So, let's talk about progression. Why didn't they even hint at a hybrid option ever? They said, "Here's an EcoBoost. Here's a performance package GT. Here's a Darkhorse." Nowhere did I go, "Oh my God, I am salivating for a hybrid all-wheel drive, 600 horsepower." NA with the hybrid system making another 100 horse. Maybe they'll surprise us. Who knows? The guy said that the GT made 480 and the Darkhorse, you get 20 more horsepower. When he said 500 horsepower and I did the Hulk Hogan hand to the ear, I said, excuse me, only 20 more horsepower? So you're telling me, right? Let's say the GT has a single cold air system and the Darkhorse has dual. So you're telling me if I can tune the GT, cold air, E85, and free-flowing exhaust, I can make the same horsepower as a Darkhorse, but it doesn't have the Darkhorse badge. It doesn't have the Darkhorse badge. Look, man, it's the same stuff we've been talking about. No different than GT versus GT500. If you want a GT500, Predator block, Predator equipped, it's badass. It makes good power, great roll car, into the nines, no problem with very minimal tuning, very minimal mods. Great car. If you want to go eights, you buy a Whipple and a fuel system. You buy a Odin and a fuel system. And that, obviously, half shafts and a drive shaft, it's an 8-second car. Omar Garza has a 9.4 Gen 3 car with an Edelbrock 2650 in it. Basic shit. That's just as fast as a $100,000 GT500 with about 30,000 in mods. The Boss is the next specialty. Yeah, I believe so. I believe the Boss is the next specialty. And I get that. You can change the dash to make it look like a Fox Body dash. And how the hell is that an upgrade? Like, who wants that? So you get a dash that says 200 on the dash and looks modern and futuristic, or you can hit a button and see the Fox body dash in it. The fuck is happening? Wonder if the S650 needs a tune if people want E85 straight out of the box. Hey, that's a good one. Is it E85 compatible? But according to what the government says, E85 is worse for the environment. How? What happened to the electric motors on the side of the engine block that Ford got the patent for? No idea. Because what would the price point be for an all-wheel drive 600 horsepower NA hybrid Mustang? $80,000? And how many people did Ford get rid of? How many people did Ford recently get rid of company-wide? Something to the tune of about 8,000 people? Is that a... Does that sound like they're ramping something up or ramping something down? Come on, stop it. I had over $150,000 in NA Pontiac Firebird NMCA Pro Stock, small 275 drag radio car. Who asked? Came in late and don't know if this was talked about, but what do you think about the new CJ? So the new CJ, to me, I already talked about that before. The Porters are going to have a field day, making that a monoblade inlet. If that is able to be retrofitted into the future Darkhorse, I think the inlets are too small, because if the Darkhorse has twin 84s, the openings we saw on the CJ were like twin 60 something. So I don't think that's going to fit with that. But it's basically a great value from Walmart Plasma Man intake. Right? It has the same shape as the Plasma Man intake. Can it hold the same boost? Absolutely not. But NA guys might do really well with cams. It has more volume. With the right cams and the right setup, it might flow really well. Keith Morris says, I'm so glad I got my 15 S550 7 years ago. VMPO gives me all the smiles and will walk all over the Darkhorse. Right, that's the other thing, right? You're going to see this Darkhorse on the street, the Darkhorse on the street. You're going to have your Gen 3 or your Gen 2 Mustang, and you're going to be able to walk the shit out of it, right? So let's say 50% of the guys out there are going to go, well, fuck, let me hit a Lund or any other tuning company, and what are my options? Because everyone in my town is gapping the ever-living shit out of me, because everyone has Gen 2s and Gen 3s and some old Gen 1s that have a blower, twin turbos, a Vortec, or ESS kits that are gapping people everywhere, and your Darkhorse is the latest and greatest getting gapped. Hey, Lund, can't tune it. Hey, this, can't tune it. Well, who can tune it? The people that have access. Roush, Whipple, let's just say Roush Whipple. Oh, beautiful, badass. Let me get one of those. Let me put it in the car. Okay, it makes 650, 700 on pump gas, but I want to run E85. They don't support that kind of tuning. They're going to give you pump gas tuning with injectors that are emissions legal. So your Darkhorse will have 55s, 38s, or 52s. So your supercharged, emissions legal, warrantied up Whipple or Roush Darkhorse is still going to get gapped by Gen 3s, Gen 1s, or Gen 2s that can get E85 and all the boost on the planet. You got to look, in my opinion, that car, when it's able to be tuned, I think it's going to be great. But it's going to be a long time before that happens, if ever. Are we still going to be in business? It's 2022. Are we still going to be in business in 4 years with the way things are going? You guys see what's out there. You guys got to really wake up. You see what's out there. You see how the EPA is moving. You see how everything is going. Do you think tuners in general are going to be in business in the same capacity? Because people like us are going to be tuning what's tunable. Gen 3 and down. If it's not tunable, we don't fuck with it. So is the aftermarket going to support the new vehicles or just make their money with legacy support on older vehicles? And by the way, guys, look, I love you guys. I really do. We got 604 people watching on a Friday and 276 likes. This channel is small. I have maybe 60-something thousand subscribers and about 2,000 members. No. About 400, I thought 2,000, 400 or 500 members. The only way this channel makes it, okay, is by you clicking the like button. That's it. If you guys don't click the like button, it doesn't get spread around, and there's no motivation to make more. Like, who's talking about this? Name anyone else out there that has this take and this angle. Everyone's just going, look to this. I can't wait to get one and tune it. And then I'm going to go, you're not going to tune it for a long time if that bitch is locked down. The exact same thing happened to the C8 Corvette, right? Look at what happened to Street Speed 717. He bought a C8. Some people put turbos on it. Some people got the clout, and it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. Some people literally got the C8, twin turbo, blah, 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 and no one generally cared because they were not able to duplicate that in mass. And the C8 Corvette is a perfect example of what the Mustang is going to be. A bunch of stock cars going around with catback exhaust upgrades, wheel upgrades, lights, tinted windows, drop kits, and that's it. The C8 Corvette has been out for a while now, and you still don't see a ton of aftermarket support for it. Do you? I don't. I'm looking. C8 Corvette is not a dud per se, but if you want badassery, you gotta wait for the C8 Z06, and that's becoming a nightmare because of supply chain issues. It's the world we live in, guys. Alex, do you think the dual throttle bodies will be smaller on the S650? According to them, it's twin 84, so no, same size. I'm living in the Fox Body Gen 1 life. Alex, keeping it real and honest, thank you. My couch touches the wall. Always drop a like. Hit the like, fellas. Good evening, sir. Over-the-air updates a la verga. That's right, guys. Over-the-air updates. You know what? Cletus did the same thing, right? Cletus bought his blue Corvette and got rid of it really fast. And I thought to myself, he knows that bitch ain't going to be tunable for a long time. Like, he knows he is going to have a car that is sitting there collecting dust, not making him money. He lives off of the upgrade. And once the new cars are less likely to be upgraded, he went old. Crown Vics, El Caminos, race cars. How come he doesn't get brand new cars and mod them up really badass? Because the aftermarket doesn't support it. You forgot fender stripes, right? GM has the TCM on lock. Hell, Cletus bought one, then sold it 2 weeks later. You guys know better. Support this man. Hit the damn thumbs up button. Thank you. What about Starlight roofs? That's the gayest mod. I saw a guy up in Orlando. Yeah, you could clip this. With a Starlight roof. He breaks like 6 MT82s a fucking year. And it makes total sense. I said, why does this guy break? Oh, he's got a Starlight roof. Yeah, it makes sense. Right. So the C8 Corvette is a absolute warning sign for you guys that are in the market for brand spanking new Mustangs. The aftermarket, like American Muscle, LMR, Steeda, they're excited because they can make suspension parts for it. Nothing to be tuned. You could put fucking louvers. I can't wait to see a Darkhorse with louvers. You can make wheel setups. You could do side markers. You could do tint. You could do, different LED stuff. Yeah, that's what you're going to be able to do. The exact same thing you can do with a C8. Minimal visual mods. Don't get mad if after 1 or 2 years of ownership on a S650, you're still getting beat by everyone with a Gen 3. Cletus trying to sell his tank for $400,000. Come on, Cletus, stop it. They had the best chance to come out with something badass, electric in the Malaise era, and then save it with a hybrid and start the new horsepower war era, and they didn't. Ford saw what was happening. Ford saw, oh, here we go. Here we go. Dodge is going away. Badass. Oh, Chevy's going away. Camaro's gone. Oh, my God. So let's give them the same untunable stuff. It's 2020, but untunable. Ford gave you a nice facelift. It's a very good looking car that's untunable. They gave you 2020 with a facelift. Prove me wrong. Don't forget pink and purple. AFR 12.2, good in front of 985 on a flex soon. Yep. Biggest winners are American Muscle and AKA American Hustle. Right. Raxium. Raxium is going to make a killing making front light retrofit into 3 valves and 2 valves, and the rear design that looks scrunched up to retrofit them on older cars. Like when I saw by the way, the 13 and 14 taillights are probably the best taillights ever made, right? Right? Hands up, probably the best taillights ever made. When I started seeing those be retrofitted onto 05 to 09 Mustangs, I lost my shit. I laughed so hard. Penny for your thoughts. Encore MPW, thank you, sir. Yeah, it could have been the baddest 600 horsepower hybrid Coyote, but they said no. We have no balls.
Take that, Elon Musk.
Exactly. Oh no, we suck again.
Oh no!
Exactly.
We suck again!
And again, guys, I'm a fan, but I can absolutely treat them like the early 2000s, late 90s Red Sox. I can show up to the game. I can say I'm a fan, but I can also call you out when you do dumb shit. That doesn't mean I dislike you. That means I can call you out when you do dumb shit. So when the S650 came out, I went, okay, but can we tune it? Well, it's got upgraded rods and pistons. Oh, cool. For boost? Yup. Can we tune it? Not for like 5 years. So Gen 3 it is. Gen 2 it is. Gen 1 it is. Got them on back with my S197 looking like a 15. S650 hardcore builds are going to be body kits, Corsa exhaust, LEDs, and wings. Support your tuner. Here's $5 for the next Bendejo refund or a new Farley wig. Thank you. Diego Flores and Nixon Tarpey in the house. At least Cletus has a better chance of clearing the Grand Canyon in an EV. You're not wrong about that. A guy in one of the Facebook groups photoshopped the headlights in his 350, and everyone in the comments were saying they can't wait for the Raxium's Gen 2, Gen 3. When you look at this car, guys, it's an S650. It looks like you'll be able to retrofit somewhat the lights. But remember, weren't you guys making fun of the Mach-E, how gay it is? Ah, Mach-E, gay. Mach-E's not a Mustang. Mach-E's not a Mustang. That's not a Mustang. It's a stupid, I can't believe. Now it's got its headlights. Now it's got its headlights. So you guys got to eat crow. All that shit you talked about Mach-E sucks, gay, dumb, stupid. Now you got its headlights. Stop it. New Darkhorse has 140, not 160. The S550 in digital mode stops at 160, so you max out the speedo in fourth gear. What's its stock speed limiter at then? 155. Wonder if standalone would be able to block over-the-air updates. I doubt it. Calling people out just means you care, not a hater when you critique something right. I love the Red Sox. They fucking sucked in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And then when they won the championships like 3 out of the last 10 years, I was living the high life. Holy shit. Now they're back to sucking. And I'm like, yo, you fucking suck. But guys think that you have to wash Ford's balls. I guarantee some magazine writer somewhere in 1972 saw this thing and said, oh my God, Ford is innovating the game. I can't wait to see this thing on the road. Oh my God, Ford is so badass. Ha, finally, a solution to our gas crisis. And V8 Rumble, the King Cobra, the Gia. Yeah, another version of the King Cobra. Look at this, the everyday man's car. Still a Mustang, absolutely. You still want performance? How about 172 horsepower from a V8? Huh? You don't want performance and you hate that the Saudi Arabians have control of the gas market? How about a 4-cylinder, 26 horsepower Gia? Man, Ford innovating the game. Right. There is some magazine writer out there that wrote that. And I'm looking at this S650 and I go, it's 2020. It's 2020 all over again. It's a lateral move with newer lights, different roof line, different body lines, but it's an S. I guarantee I can go up to the S650, take the exhaust off the bitch, and take the IRS off the bitch, and bolt it into any S550 from 15 and up. Right? Mustang Heritage. I guarantee someone did that. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. We'll do an hour, nice and short, so you guys can go on and enjoy your weekend. I wanted to get on because a lot of people are talking, and they think that Lund is hating. No, we are fans, but we can critique when we see something that could be an issue down the road, namely the tuning. So, if you want to buy the Darkhorse, have at it. If you want to buy the the S650, aka S550.5, that's fine. Not a problem. If we can't tune it, we suggest you buy what can be tuned if you want to mod the car. You want a nice, new, latest and greatest, and you just want design and latest shit, badass. Get that. Get the Darkhorse, get the S650. If you want to go racing, 2020 and under is your Huckleberry. Have a good rest of your week. I'll be back on Sunday. Peasant Chat. We're going to talk some shit on the Peasant Chat. It'll be a good time for the poors. I don't really generally take paid questions because it is the Peasant Chat. Someone said, missed my super chat. That's how it goes, brother. We got a lot of shit going on. You are not guaranteed to get your comment liked because I pay you. All right, guys, I'm out of here. See you guys Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. or at night because there is a Cars and Coffee happening. And I might take my GT500 off the road because I don't drive it anymore. And I'd rather save on that insurance and just keep it in the garage and trailer it to the track if I do get to race it. So I might take it to the Cars and Coffee here in West Palm Beach just as a final hurrah because I'll probably never see that car on the road again as long as I own it because there's no reason to drive it. The ZR1 is fulfilling all my muscle car needs and the S550 is driving great. So no real reason to have the GT500 on the road. See you guys Sunday. Have a good rest of your Friday and Saturday. See you later. Bye.